What's going on, everybody? Rage Devonian here, bringing you another VGC moveset slash strategy guide. Today we're talking about the S tier meta-defining Pokemon, Cresslia. One thing to note about Cresslia is it actually did get a stat nerf. I don't remember quite how much the stat nerf was, but I believe it was 10 in both defenses. It used to be base 120 and 130. So it did become less bulky, but even in spite of that, this Pokemon is still on top in terms of usage. Even with base 110 and 120, a base 120 HP is just monstrous to have with those kinds of defenses. I mean, obviously, Cresslia is not very strong, only base 75 special attack. Excuse me. But, you know, that doesn't really matter when Cresslia is just kind of sitting on the field doing chip damage over and over again. Especially with its new move, Lunar Blessing, where it can just heal itself and its ally at the same time, as well as cure status. So if your ally is asleep and you just use Lunar Blessing, it'll heal it and then wake it up and then let it attack. So it can just keep healing itself and doing chip damage over and over again. And even from a base 75 attack stat, if you're taking super effective damage from either a coverage Ice Beam, Moonblast, or a stab Psychic, you're gonna that damage is gonna add up, and it's gonna add up quick. It's something that you definitely don't want to have happen. I have not run Cresslia Fluttermane calcs. But I do, just with the content that I've watched, I do know that Booster Energy Shadow Ball does do a lot of damage into Cresslia, especially if Chi-Yu is on the field. Fluttermane Chi-Yu is kind of picking up in usage here. Neither of them are necessarily like top S tier, but Fluttermane will just forever be good because it's great offensive typing and stupid stats. And then Chi-Yu, even though it's got a middling speed stat, just does really well with its ability to allow other special attackers to just have a field day. But yeah, if you've got Chip on Cresslia and you can launch a Chi-Yu boosted Booster Energy Shadow Ball, that's definitely like one of the #1 ways to remove Cresslia. Another way is Urshifu. Obviously not Rapid Strike, the single strike. With Wicked Blow automatically critting, because Cresslia does have a lower defense stat than it does special defense stat. The only issue with the Fighting Dark Urshifu is obviously Cresslia like to do Terra Fairy and Moonblast stuffs, so it's kind of hard to remove it that way. So it's a game of baiting out the Terra, seeing which way that you can hit it for super effective damage. But when it comes to dealing with Cresslia, you'll want both Ghost and Steel would be what I would say. Ghost for the Psychic, Steel for when it turns to Fairy, and kind of avoiding the Dark, because you don't want to think you're hitting it for super effective, then all of a sudden get resisted and then just KO'd by a Moonblast. I think that's the #1 reason why Urshifu Dark is sitting below in usage compared to Urshifu Rapid Strike. Water is just a much better offensive type right now, in my opinion, as well with Terra boosted Surging Strikes, you know, being able to break sashes and everything like that. You're just so much damage, especially because you can boost Surging Strikes further with Rain. I think Rain right now also pretty good. Anyways, we're talking about Cresslia. Sorry, these videos, as you guys know, are completely unscripted, and I'm just talking. We're talking about Cresslia here. It does Moonblast stuff. It does Helping Hand stuff. It does Trick Room stuff. Basically, this thing, it gets Ally Switch. Basically, this thing is like everything a support Pokemon needs, minus Fake Out. If Cresslia got Fake Out, dumb Pokemon. We're really glad that it doesn't get Fake Out. But anyways, this thing with Levitate, Trick Room, Helping Hand just really allows Ursaluna to do Ursaluna things. Like, Cresslia Ursaluna is the pair for Cresslia. But I mean, you can't count out Cresslia Heatran, or, you know, Cresslia Torkoal, or any other strong Trick Room Pokemon. Anything that wants to be in Trick Room wants to be next to Cresslia. So it's just super powerful support Pokemon, and it can run a variety of items. I almost said enemies for some reason. Mental Herb, Heal Berry, none of the choice items, and not an Assault Vest, because obviously you need to run support moves that do damage. But yeah, you could also give it like a seed if you want to do like, Cresslia NDD instead of Cresslia or NDD Armor Rouge, not Cresslia Armor Rouge. But yeah, you can give it a special defense boost with Psychic Seed, which is not really something that it needs, but it also can get a Grassy Seed boost if you put it next to something like Rillaboom. Rillaboom used to not care about Trick Room because it got Fake Out, Grassy Glide priority. So it was like, Trick Room, not Trick Room, I'm going first. But it doesn't get Grassy Glide anymore. But it is not the fastest Pokemon, so if you run Min Speed Rillaboom, it actually can do pretty good things in Trick Room, so you can give it a Grassy Seed to help with that defensive side. Especially when you Terra Fairy, you don't have to worry about those Wicked Blow crits going through your defense boost, and you just become even more bulky. So there's a lot of items and moves that Cresslia can run. It kind of struggles from 5 move slot syndrome. If you want Lunar Blessing, Moonblast, Helping Hand, Trick Room, Ally Switch, Ice Beam, Protect, like all of these things Cresslia wants, but doesn't necessarily need. You just got to find the right 4 that work for your team, and Cresslia will definitely do good Cresslia things. You can always, let's see, what nature is it? Is it relaxed? Yes, I believe it's relaxed. Yes, minus defense, or plus defense, minus speed. So it hits min 81, which is really slow. Even at base 85, you can get it down there pretty slow. And you can just put like special defense in there, like plus your special defense, whatever. Like honestly, your spread depends on if you have Intimidate on the team. Like if you have no Intimidate, like you definitely want to invest more in your physical defense because that's what's lower. That's probably where people will try to hit you because it is a lower stat. And so you could run something like this, kind of even it out, plus your special defense, but invest more in your defense, or kind of like give it like a middling spread and then still stay relaxed. You can also drop your HP a little bit, like 227 is just so much. You could go to 219. If you don't know, Pokemon always rounds, so if you were at 220 HP and you had a Life Orb, you would take 22 every time you attacked. But if you go down to 219, you would only take 21, even though you have 9 more HP. So Pokemon always rounds down. That's for sand damage, used to be for hail damage, Life Orb damage, anything like that. So you can kind of like maximize your spread. I don't think sand is too good right now. Cresslia could also take the safety goggles because Amoonguss and Brutbonnet and Spore want to do Amoonguss Spore things. Did I just say Amoonguss and Brutbonnet and Spore? Amoonguss and Brutbonnet and Trick Room want to do Spore things. There we go. I'm talking. We're good. We're good. But yeah, so sand damage and all that, not really relevant. So you probably just want to max out Cresslia's HP. Make sure you're as bulky as possible. So, it really just depends on what role you need Cresslia to do. Don't use Ally Switch, don't be that guy. I can't stop you from using Ally Switch, but don't! Don't be that guy. Or girl. Person. They. Don't do it. But yeah, that is Cresslia. I don't really think I have much else to say. It is a pretty straightforward Pokemon, and once it wants to do, be bulky and support, but there are a ton of different ways to run it. Like, so many moves and so many spreads that you could use, so even though it is straightforward, it's also not very straightforward. In open team sheet format, obviously at best of 3 tournaments, you know what Terra type it is and what item it's running, but on ladder, you're going to have to figure out what kind of Cresslia it is. Does it have Mental Herb? Does it have a Heal Berry? Does it have Safety Goggles? Is it more physically bulky? Is it more specially bulky? So on the ladder, Cresslia is going to be tough to go against because you're not going to really know what it does. Like, you could Prankster Taunt it to stop the Trick Room turn 1, and then boom, it's Mental Herb, and it gets Trick Room up, and then Ursaluna sweeps you. It's kind of like, it's going to be tough. So make sure that you've got ways to stop Cresslia, and when I say stop Cresslia, I mean knock it out. If you just let it stay on the field, it will spam Lunar Blessing and it will not go away. So knock it out. That's how you shut it down. How to knock it out. But anyways, that is Cresslia. I don't think I have anything else to say. If you want a Pokemon spotlighted in our VGC guide, make sure to leave it down in the comments below. I will make sure to talk about it. We will get to it. And then, small announcement, we are going to be doing some Road to Ranked videos that are focused on the Pokemon that we talk about in these videos. So our first Road to Ranked video, that came out yesterday, should be yesterday because this should be Sunday, and it should come out yesterday on Saturday, will be because I haven't recorded it yet. This is Future Raging. Hi. Talking to you on Wednesday, or Thursday. It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday. I'm rambling. Sorry. Has been about Hisuian Typhlosion. The next one, Cleavor, then Cresslia, and then whatever Pokemon we do next. And that's kind of how we'll do our Road to Ranks with rental teams. So I get a lot of experience with different Pokemon that are in Regulation D. And then to make sure that I'm keeping up my own team building skills and, forming my own teams and what I like to use, we will be doing our live streams laddering with my own team. So we'll be having double the VGC content here every week, as well as talking about these Pokemon more in depth. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. And if you are, subscribe, like, leave a comment, let me know what Pokemon you'd like me to talk about, and make sure to subscribe, because this is the place to be for Regulation D. Oh, my goodness, I'm done rambling. You can click off the video now.